Supervisory Special Agent Salvatore Cincinelli. He was manager of Northeast Region Complex Financial Crimes Unit. He was investigating crimes allegedly tied to the Clinton Foundation. Valerie Cincinelli is Salvatore's sister. She was framed for conspiracy to commit murder. She is pictured here with one of her children who has gone through the trauma of losing her hero uncle. Rosemarie Cincinelli is a longtime subscriber to this channel. Salvatore was her nephew and godson. She called me on the 26th and we spoke at length. Sal's obituary and all comments made were deleted from the internet by the techno-Nazis. I spoke with Rosemarie Cincinelli about her nephew's alleged suicide. After you hear this and realize the cases he was working on potentially led to the Clinton Foundation, I believe that another Arkancide has to be considered as a strong possibility.
Hello, this is Dave from Net for Truth USA. It is July 25th, 2019, and I have on the phone with me Rosemarie, who will introduce herself. How you doing, Rosemarie?
Oh, so good. I'm very, very emotionally upset and discombobulated. I just can't even focus. I'm so upset.
Okay, why don't you tell the audience why you called me tonight and tell them the story behind what's getting you so upset.
Okay, I'm calling because I want the truth to come out. My beautiful godson, my nephew, Salvatore Cincinelli, a supervisory special agent of the FBI investigating complex financial crimes, was Arkancided. And they're claiming that he killed himself. And I'm telling you, Dave, there's no fucking way that my nephew killed himself. No way. He loved his wife. He loved his kids. He had a great job. He just got a big promotion. He was healthy. He was a martial arts instructor, an artist, hobbyist, and he had that loved him and a large family that loved him, and everybody that I knew, everybody that went to the funeral, everybody that I talked to says, no fucking way did he kill himself. Okay? The story is, and this is the first story we got was that he was in a bar drinking with a couple of his FBI buddies, glasses of bourbon. Well, let me tell you something, Dave. My nephew went home and among family and friends never drank like that. I'm not saying it's impossible that he did, but that's not the way he was, okay? He never drank like that. They said he got himself really drunk, and he got up from the bar, walked in another room, and shot himself in the head, okay? Now, let me tell you this. They said that he did it with his service revolver. His service revolver is a 9mm. What happens to a head when you shoot it with a 9mm?
It's not healthy.
It explodes like a watermelon, okay?
Depends upon if it's a hollow point or... But at close range like that, I don't even think it matters. Your head would explode.
Anyway, it was an open casket, okay? His head did not explode, and he looked just beautiful in death. I don't know how to tell you all the things I want to tell you because, like I said, I'm so discombobulated and upset over this situation. They're claiming he killed himself. There's no way he killed himself. Then we find out later, like 2-3 days later, we find out this is the news story. The news story is he was at a conference, an FBI training conference about financial crime. And at the end of the conference, he and his buddies went to the bar, the Container Bar in Austin, Texas, and that they were drinking, and that he was on the dance floor and shot himself in a crowded room while on the dance floor. Now, this doesn't hold water.
I saw that story come up in one of my news feeds, and I didn't get the particulars about what he was investigating or who he was investigating, which I think is probably more relevant to the case than anything else. Who? Because what? You know, I'm sure he's got a whole caseload of the same type of cases, but the person who is being investigated, I think, is material to the case. And I would venture a guess, you say he was Arkancide, had something to do with the Clinton Foundation or Hillary Clinton or or child trafficking.
Right. Right. Nobody knows exactly what he was working on because they're not allowed to talk. They don't talk to their friends and their family. We don't, as friends and family, know what he was working on. But there were several postings on the internet that said he was working on the Clinton Foundation. Now, where that came from, whether or not it's absolutely true, I couldn't verify one way or another.
All right, do me a favor, back off from the mic a little bit because you're starting to break up.
Okay. Should I?
Yeah, that's a little better.
Like I was saying, he never talked about his work. As a matter of fact, I never even knew that he was a supervisory special agent. I just thought he was an agent, you know.
And how old was he?
What?
How old was he?
What?
How old was he?
41 years old.
Wow.
40 in the prime of life. 40.
That is tragic. It really is.
And you know, everybody says he was the smartest, brightest, funniest, friendliest guy. You know, not one word about depression. Not one word. Now, he was dealing with some pretty extreme personal problems regarding his sister, who was set up and was arrested, an NYPD cop. That's another story, but I have a feeling that they're connected. I think that they went after Valerie first to distract Sal from whatever he was doing. That's my feeling. That's my belief.
Oh, God. This
That's
is
story.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time that they go. The mob does this all the time. This is the mob used to never. If they were after you, they would never go after your family. They would never touch your kids. They would never touch your wife or anybody related to you. They'd come after you. But this is a whole another breed of people, if you can even call them people, because we know what they're into. We know what they're scared of. We have the best president in the Oval Office right now that I've had in my lifetime since Kennedy.
Me too.
And how anybody can do this 24/7 vitriolic hatred of a duly elected president is beyond me. But I get it, because they're looking to they've committed treason, and even worse than treason, they've committed crimes against children and crimes against humanity.
Yes.
That they can hang for.
Yes.
So they have nothing to lose. They have to pull out all the stops, because if they get indicted, they're done. Like Jeffrey Epstein, they found him in his cell, damn near unconscious. Yes. I'll give you 3 guesses what happened to him, and the first 2 don't count. I mean, I guarantee you, Jeffrey Epstein will not make it to trial.
I believe that too.
And anybody who gets involved with getting close to something that the Clintons did ends up dead. And I did a video a while back, and I calculated the odds. What are the odds? 50-50. Is either connected to the Hildebeest or not connected to the Hildebeest. And on a 50-50 odds, I had 100 people in that list. What are it would be the same odds of 100 people standing in a room, and on a count of 3, flip a coin, and everybody ends up heads or tails at the same time.
Right.
The odds are astronomical. They exceeded the 14-digit capacity of my calculator. So I had to go get another calculator, because it was, when I got to I think it was 60, it started doing shit in scientific notation.
Yeah.
So anybody else in that situation who would have 2 or more dead bodies connected to them would be investigated immediately, except for the Hildebeest.
Yeah. Well, you know, at the wake, I approached his supervisor, a woman, And I said to her, could you please step outside with me? I'd like to have a word with you. So she stepped outside with me, and I told her, I said, I want you to know that in no uncertain terms that there isn't a single person in that funeral home that believes that Sal killed herself. Not a single person. I said, and what are you going to do about it? Are you going to start an investigation? She says, oh, well, no investigation, because, the police did an investigation and they have a video. I said, don't tell me about a video. I said, Hillary Clinton has a video. We have a video of her doing things. And what happened? Nothing. The video meant nothing. I said, and you tell me the video that you have means that there was no foul play? You need to do something. I said, you need to do something. And I just walked away from her.
Somebody in that crowd must have walked away, because I heard that the supposedly investigators, confiscated all the cell phones.
Right, that's what it says on the internet.
Well, that's what I heard. I haven't substantiated, because first of all, I wasn't there, and second of all, I don't have any sources in that area that I could talk to. So I would think that if something went down like that they would confiscate all the cell phones, because cell phones, if you're in a crowd of people and you blow your brains out, that would be evidence. That's evidence that somebody could use to prove or disprove what they're saying. So I don't trust them as far as I could spit up wind in a Saigon monsoon.
You bet.
I went to them, the Albany FBI, many years ago, with an allegation of a suspicion, and they looked at me like, well, they didn't look at me, it was a phone call, but they treated me like I had three heads.
Yeah.
So I've been on this case now for many years, and what I suspected, I can't say, because I don't know.
Well, you know what,
but
James?
some weird shit is going on in this country.
Absolutely.
And they better get to the bottom of this, because this is ridiculous. And Soros and all those people, they're not Americans. They're traitors, and they know they're traitors. They're about to be exposed. If he's looking into child trafficking, he's looking into the Clinton Foundation. Big red flag, klaxon horns, and red flares, because anybody who's connected to the Hildebeest is onto something that could bring her down. End up dead.
That's right. Well, you know what? I don't really expect justice. I really don't. I think there's so much corruption in the FBI and all around us, in every agency of this country, every branch of the government. I think we are totally infiltrated with a bunch of bastards. But what I do want to say is, he didn't commit suicide. I want that brought out. I want it repeated. I want it believed. And I want people to be uneasy with the situation, uncomfortable with the situation.
Yeah, and 3 police officers in New York City committed suicide as well. And,
isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that has to be connected, because I know for a fact, and I know you've heard me say this on my other videos, that I have a connection in one police plaza. I can't say who it is, because they'd probably Arkancide him. But he saw the Huma and Hillary tape or video that was on the Peter Tweeder's laptop.
Right.
So there's no doubt in my mind that the tape exists. Why it hasn't dropped is beyond me.
Yeah, I don't understand. They have the movie. How come she's not arrested? How come they're not in jail? How come that child that was murdered isn't being vindicated? What is the right word? Justice brought against.
Justice brought. Yeah, that's a question that I can't answer. That's a question that nobody can answer, because this has been going on now for many. This is not nothing new. The only reason that we know about it is because we have independent investigators that are not paid by anybody, cannot be bought off, cannot be intimidated. People like me, they may throw me off this channel another time probably, but I don't really give a shit, because all I want to do is save the country.
Right.
I want all this crap to stop, and the people who are responsible for all these crimes being committed, especially against children, to be brought to justice, to hang for their crimes. Because that's the only thing you do with people who do these satanic rituals and stuff like that. There's no, I mean, you can't even wrap your head around this shit sometimes. But this is craziness. It's craziness, and you see the corruption. Look at the Mueller the Mueller testimony this week. I mean, the guy he didn't even write the damn thing. He didn't know what fusing GPS was. Who's writing these reports? The deep state.
He's just a puppet.
He's just a puppet. Just like Hillary, she's a puppet.
Yeah.
They're all puppets. They're all puppets of Soros and Rothschild, Pasteur, Rockefellers, all of those people. So, I mean, we're getting off the subject here, but I understand where you're coming from. I really, I just don't know what to say, because I would be inconsolable. I would. There's nothing I could say to change anything. So why even go there? You know what I mean?
I do understand.
So
I can't be quiet about it. I just can't be quiet about it. You know, my sister said, "Don't say anything; they'll kill you too." I don't give a shit. I'm 71 years old. I'm an Italian grandma, and I fight fiercely for my family.
I believe you. I had an Italian grandmother like that too. So, I mean, where does this stop? I have no idea. I hear that there's helicopters flying around D.C., that there's going to be arrests. Everybody's saying, well, there's going to be arrests this week. Well, let me see it. I mean, at what point do you say, well, I'll believe it when I see it?
Just stand, please. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I have a puppy, and she annoys my older dog.
I got two of them, and the ones that the border collie, the trans beaver is a real ball buster. Right, Joey? Yeah. Anyway, are there any facts that you can shed on the situation that maybe people don't know that they should know about?
Just that I believe there's a connection between Valerie and what happened to Sal. I think they used Valerie to distract Sal, and she was totally set up. You cannot believe how professionally and totally she was set up. And they claim that she conspired to have her husband killed. I mean, she was dating this creep. I'm going to call him Charlie. That's not his name. Okay? She was dating Charlie, and he was a jerk. She tried to break off with him several times, and every time she tried to break off with him, he caused trouble for her. The first time, he called Internal Affairs and told them that she was visiting him while she was on duty. She got into trouble for that. I don't know all of the facts. I don't know if he recanted on that or not, but the second time she tried to break up with him, he claimed that she pulled a gun on him, and she was arrested and put in jail, and it went to court, and he in the court said, well, I made it up. It's not really true. Okay?
Well, then she'd arrested for making a false police report.
Absolutely. Then he gets arrested for trying to steal diamonds from a man who had, he put, I guess the guy had an ad in the paper to sell a very expensive diamond ring, and he showed up with a gun and told the guy to just get out and leave the diamond ring. I'm not sure that's 100% of all the facts, but he was arrested and in jail. So he calls up the FBI and says, let me out and I'll get you a dirty cop. And he had everything figured out how he was going to set this kid up. She wanted to invest in silver. He claimed she was going to pay a hitman with the silver. He went into her computer and he did searches on how to kill people. She didn't do that. He did that. Then he would keep saying, well, let's whack the guy. And he even said it in front of my brother, who happens to be a retired NYPD police sergeant. Okay, and he said, my brother said, don't talk shit like that. They're just going through a divorce. There's no need to whack anybody. Don't talk like that. But this guy was constantly trying to get her to say, yeah, let's whack him, or with stuff like that. And she used to just play, like role play, like a game. Yeah, you go ahead and whack him, She never intended to have her husband killed. As a matter of fact, the guy that set her up, Charlie, I'll call him, was wearing a wire when they went to tell Valerie that her husband was dead. And after they left, she started crying hysterical, and he said, "Why are you so upset? You knew this was going to happen." And she said, "No, I didn't." She said, "I didn't believe a word of you out of your mouth. You're such a liar. You're such a bullshitter. I didn't believe this was going to happen. Are you crazy?" They have that on tape, and yet they still have her in jail.
Unbelievable.
Unfucking believable. It's right.
Unbelievable.
And this man claims to have ties with the Gambino crime family. Like, you don't never know when people are just saying stuff like that to try to make you be impressed or whether it's true. Nobody took them seriously.
Well, I do shit like that all the time. I want to fucking kill you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Some people talking out your ass try to, but you got to be careful because you can put yourself in some really fucked up situations like that.
I know. I've said it to my grandkids. Stop it or I'm going to kill you. I never intended to kill them. And they knew I wasn't going to kill them. But in anger or in stress or in frustration, you might say something like that. It doesn't mean you intend to do it.
Yeah, who wasn't frustrated these days with all the shit that's going on? Who wasn't? I'd say I walk up to you and I put a bullet in your head and go out and have an Outback steak. But would I do it? I don't know. You can push me. You can push people so far. They do crazy shit. But for me, when I first saw that, I think it was 2 days ago when I saw it in my feed, I take that with a grain of salt because people who commit suicide usually find a secluded place away from everybody.
Right.
So they won't be interrupted.
Yeah. I said to his supervisor, I said, "What's the motivation? Why would Sal kill himself?" She had no answer. I said to her, "There is no motivation. You have to have a deep, serious, overwhelming feeling of despair and hopelessness to kill yourself." He didn't have any of that. He didn't have any of that.
Well, what he had probably was evidence that if it would come out, would hurt somebody that they could whack people with impunity. They have control over everything. They have control over law enforcement. They got the judges in their pockets. They get away with the shit. They get away with is unbelievable.
I know.
So I don't know how I can help you except by putting this on my channel. And if I put it on my channel, you know what's going to happen. But I really don't care because the only thing I'm doing this for is I'm doing the truth. I close my channel down, I'll open up another one. I don't give a fuck. So you know what? They owe me $4,700 from the last channel they screwed up on me. They're gonna pay in the end. They're gonna pay in the end. Karma's a bitch.
Yep.
Karma's a bitch. They're gonna pay in the end. Believe me. I'm what you reap, you sow in abundance. So
yeah.
They're going down, and they know they're going down, and this is an act, in my opinion, an act of desperation on their part. There's no way that somebody walks out in the middle of a crowded room and kills himself.
Right.
I thought that was bullshit from the get-go. And listening to you, now I'm convinced. And hopefully everybody else will be convinced. I don't know what will become of it, except that it's exposed. And
right.
You never know. You never know. Some eyes on, somebody might be listening, just like America's Most Wanted. You never know. You're going to catch the guy. Somebody could look at a rerun of the oh, Jesus, that was my next door neighbor. That was my next door neighbor years ago. And then, you give them enough rope and they'll hang themselves. So I just feel so bad for you that this tragedy happened to you. And these people are not human. They have no compassion. They have no empathy. They have no
They're
soul.
Not human. They're not human. Exactly. They don't have a soul.
They don't.
They don't have a soul.
Well, you know what? That little that ceremony that they have for 3 weeks or 2 weeks out in the Bohemian Grove out in California, they have this ceremony called the cremation of care, CARE. In other words, the burning of give a shit, or as the Bible would put it, blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. That's the only sin that the Bible says is unforgivable. It says all manner of sin will be forgiven to man, but except for the blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. When you blaspheme the Holy Spirit, you seal your soul. It's selling your soul to the devil. You're a member of the club now.
Yep.
You can literally get away with murder. Oh, you want to go rape a little girl? No problem. We got the law enforcement in our pocket. You want to buy somebody, some little kid for sex? No problem. We got a supply here. You want to drink some adrenochrome? Here you go. And they've been doing this shit for years. This is nothing new. This is nothing new. This is for years they've been doing this shit. And if they get caught, you know what's going to happen to them. And even if they don't get hung, what's going to happen to them in prison is going to be 10 times worse than hanging from a tree. And they know it. Yeah. So.
Well, at first I thought, wouldn't it be a good thing if somebody would come forward and be a witness and expose the murderer, and clear Sal's name is not killing himself. But then I thought about it. You can't trust the police. You can't trust the FBI. How could you come forward? You wind up dead.
Yeah, I mean, the people in the FBI, some of them, I would say most of them, are upstanding, law-abiding, patriots. They do their job, and they, like most of the cops. Most of the cops, I love all the cops around here. They're all my friends. Everybody knows me. Because I've been doing undercover work for 30 years, since 1972. So they know me already. They know what I'm capable of. They know my reputation, and I don't give a shit what you say about me, what you believe about me, what fake web pages that Hillary Clinton put up there to disparage my character. I really don't give a fuck. What I want to do is I want to see you hang, and I will put myself on the line. I will stand in front of a bullet if I have to, and I will take your ass down because you're fucking with somebody who ain't going to give up. I'm a bulldog. I got a piece of that ass, and I'm taking the whole fucking cheek.
Yeah, good. I hope that we see some arrests. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
Some justice. I'm so weary. Every day, for 2.5 years, I open my morning when I'm still in bed to the news to try to see has somebody been arrested, and no encouragement, no relief, no progress.
What does the local police department say happened? Did you guys get a coroner's report at least, or?
I haven't. I don't know. And you know what? His wife is so distraught. I could not even question her about anything. I could not question the poor thing. She is just so distraught. And maybe in time we'll learn more from her, because we don't get I'm just his aunt. I'm not his wife. I'm his godmother. I'm not his mother. But we don't get everything.
Well, you should at least have a statement what the cause of death was. At least that. At least no, I'm saying what caliber weapon it was. All of that little shit that you don't think matters
does
matter. What caliber it was, what kind of gun it, because if it's not his service revolver, then it's another weapon.
Right.
Okay, if it's not his service revolver with the what do you call it, the ballistics of his weapon, then it's not his weapon. Then whose weapon was it?
Yeah,
then whose weapon was it?
Right, exactly.
That's a logical question, but you can't ask the logical question unless you have the information that enables you to ask the logical question.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't.
and I'll tell you something. It's I've been doing this shit for a long time, so I know from whence I speak, and I'm gonna bring something up to you here. And listen to this, and you tell me if this is not fucking genius. This is should be an investigator's mantra. The workability of a postulate is established by the degree to which it explains existing phenomena that is already known, and by the degree that it predicts new phenomena which, when looked for, will be found to exist, and by the degree that it does not require that phenomena which do not exist in fact be called into existence for its explanation. If it fits that axiom, it's a fact.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
well,
that's what I use. That's my litmus test for all the bullshit that comes across the airwaves and even across the internet. I run it through that train of logic, and if it passes that train of logic, then it's credible. At least it's credible.
Yeah.
And if it comes from a reliable source and it passes that logic, then I consider it to be a fact. So that's one way to weed through the bullshit, because they're going to give you bullshit to cover it up. You know that's going to happen.
Oh, I know. I did.
You know that's going to happen. So be prepared for the bullshit, because it's going to come hot and heavy. And and like you say, you put your life on the line for this shit. This is not a joke. Yeah. This is not somebody, this is not some little kid in the schoolyard you're playing with. You're playing with some really evil sons of bitches, and that was John F. Kennedy's mistake. He knew what was out there, but he didn't know how deep it went, and he didn't know what exactly he was dealing with and what they were capable of doing.
No.
So,
what a shame.
Yeah, what a shame. And I tell you what. There's people out there who know the facts, but they're not coming forward because they'll get whacked.
Yep.
Why would they cover it up for so long, unless they're guilty?
A party to it.
I mean, why is Robert De Niro so up in arms about President Trump? Why would an actor who's got all the money in God's creation give a rat's ass about who's the president? If I had $20 million, I wouldn't give a fuck who's the president. I'd go buy my own island. Fuck you and the president. You know what I'm saying?
He's probably one of those child molesters.
Yeah, he's probably one of them, and he knows that President Trump knows, because they invited him to their little child eating ceremonies, and he probably said, "Thank you, but no, thank you," and walked away. And then when he walked away, he said, "This is bullshit. I can't see this," and walk away from it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you know to do good and you don't do it, to you, it's just as good as if you did it.
Yeah.
So whatever price you got to pay, whatever you got to do to stop these sons of bitches, even if it hurts you, you got to do it.
Right.
Because this life is not all there is. This body is just a shell. I'm a soul in a body, and if I got to answer to God at the last day and say, well, you know what, I knew these kids were being raped and tortured and sacrificed to Moloch, but I didn't do shit about it because I thought they were going to whack me.
Yeah. What's
your explanation?
I don't think God would buy that.
I don't think he'd buy it either.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there for a lot of people, but for a lot of people it does make a big difference.
Yeah, well,
a lot of people it doesn't make a difference.
I do believe in God and in divine justice. It'll all be evened out, if not in this world, in the next.
Hopefully it will come to pass that these people will be taken down, because there's definitely something wrong when you can't go to a law enforcement agency and report a crime. There's something wrong when you're a witness and your life is in danger just by being a witness.
Yep.
And if there's something wrong where you're investigating a crime and you get close to the solution of it and you get whacked for your trouble.
Yeah.
By people working with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? By people you're working with every day, you're working with them. They know they're involved with the shit, and they can't let you get close, because if you say, "Hey, no, I'm going down this road," because that's where the evidence takes me, and they say, "No, you're not. You're not going down this road."
It made me so attend that funeral, knowing that one of those sons of bitches in the suit actually killed my nephew, and I know that whoever did it was just standing there.
Unbelievable. That is the most insane thing I've ever heard in my life. That somebody, a cop. I mean, how many people were in that club? Somebody saw something.
Exactly.
Somebody took a picture of something. I guarantee you there's one phone that got away. There's too many cameras. You ain't getting away with shit today. You can touch something today. Touch it. Just touch it with your finger. And they'll come in with a Q-tip and take your skin cells off the things and match it to you. And if they ain't got you in the police database, guess what they do? They go to ancestry.com. Maybe you check to see if you had your ancestors. We'll find out who you are. And if you don't find out who you are, exactly who you are, because you filed, maybe one of your relatives filed. So they'll follow your relatives to you by your DNA. You think we're stupid? Nah. You want to commit a crime today? You better have a forensic degree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you walk into a room, the skin cells falling off your body onto the carpet is enough to. I was never in the house. No, what the fuck are your skin cells doing on the carpet?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
One of the witnesses of the event tweeted that when they heard the gunshot, all of a sudden the bartender rips off his shirt and he's wearing an FBI
body armor.
Bulletproof vest, and two or three other people rip their shirts off, and they're wearing bulletproof vests, and right away they're confiscating all the phones and telling people not to talk about it and not to go on the internet. Doesn't that scream conspiracy? Yeah,
that screams setup is what it screams. It seems like they were in that room for one purpose and one purpose only.
Yep.
And they had vests on underneath their shirts. That sounds fishy to me.
Yeah, they had vests on under their shirts. One was pretending to be the bartender, and I don't know. One said it was a woman, took her shirt off, and she had a vest on, and I don't know. I wasn't there. That's just.
Well, they took their shirts off to identify themselves to the rest of the people that they were law enforcement.
Right.
Unbelievable. Well, Roseanne, it's been nice talking to you. I hope that this conversation on social media has some effect, because we hear about this stuff all the time and nobody ever gives it a second thought. Nobody interviews. I'm surprised the news didn't come down. Well, the news. What am I saying? The news. The fake news. The fake news bullshit media didn't come down and talk to you and try to get you say something that wasn't true. But it'll get out there, because word travels fast, especially on something like this. And like I say, Roseanne, I just don't know how to console you. I'm not even going to try. All I can do is pray for you and ask the people who are listening to pray for you and your family, and that this resolution to this problem is swift, and the people that are responsible are brought to justice, because I don't believe somebody walks out into a crowd of people and commits suicide. Doesn't make sense. I don't think it has ever happened. Or maybe the monks during the Vietnam War who set themselves on fire are the exception to the rule, but I don't know of any other case like the one I saw and the one you're describing to me. I don't know any other case.
No, it makes sense. There's no motivation. There's no motivation for it. No.
Especially when you have a family and kids that you got to support, and there's nothing going on in your life that would make you despondent beyond the point where you're going to go commit suicide. That's ridiculous. So,
well, a smart person too, very strong and very smart. It would take a lot. It would take an awful lot.
Roseanne, you keep in touch,
okay,
and I'll put this video up tonight.
Yeah, and send me your email, because I want to send you the lawyer's report on his investigations of Valerie, and you could see how she was set up.
Okay, I'll do it. My email's on the end of my videos.
Oh, okay.
It's
I'll look for it.
whirlwindrevolt@gmail.com.
Make my computer work.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good evening, and thank you for listening. God bless you.
God bless you, Roseanne. I'm praying for you. Please, everybody who's listening, please offer up your prayers. And if you can, if you have any information, please don't hesitate to call me. Your name will not be mentioned if you don't want to mention your name. And that's all I can say. Thank you very much, Roseanne. God bless you.
God bless you.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Should I be found with 2 bullet holes in the back of my head, know all men by these presents, I was Arkancided. Please subscribe to our backup channels, Whirlwind Revolt, Inglorious Patriots, and Net4Truth USA 2 Patriot channel. You can also find us at Net4Truth USA on BitChute. We fly so close to the target, we're on our 4th fighter jet. We will be relentless truth seekers until the enemies of freedom are defeated. You can support this channel by using the links in the description, but for a $100 donation, I will personally send you a autographed hardcover special edition copy of Land of Childhood's Fears. Also, visit my bookstore at lulu.com/net4truth USA. If you are viewing this video on BitChute, you can use the links in the description to support us, or simply click the green $ dot on our video to support this channel. Thank you. Links are in the description section.